Not long ago, Alex Eala and Renata Zarazúa fought side by side, pursuing a single shared goal. They did not view each other as opponents or analyze weaknesses from opposite ends of the court. Instead, they were teammates, enduring the stress together, rejoicing in every successful shot, and relying on each other for every single point. A little over a year ago at the French Open, they shared that unspoken bond only doubles partners truly grasp. A quick look before receiving, a slight nod right before serving, and reacting naturally without needing to speak. They kicked off their tournament with a great opening round win before bowing out in the second stage. After sharing a warm hug and exchanging good wishes, they parted ways thinking they would next see each other during friendly training sessions. Neither woman could have predicted the twist that Wimbledon was secretly setting up for them. Circumstances have completely shifted the narrative now. Rather than standing on the same side of the net, they face a knockout battle where only one can advance. The true intrigue of this opening round match goes far beyond tournament seedings or the grass courts. It comes down to the uneasy truth that both players possess deep insights into each other's games that normal competitors never get access to. This insider knowledge means every rally will be much more unpredictable than it appears on the tournament bracket. Statistically, the matchup seems clear-cut. Alex Eala comes into Wimbledon holding the number 29 seed, a landmark achievement with a massive impact. Never before has a tennis player from the Philippines been seeded in singles at a major tournament. Furthermore, nearly 20 years have passed since a female athlete from Southeast Asia last held such a status. This is far more than a simple ranking boost. It is a historic milestone. It validates years of dedication, endless training sessions at the Rafa Nadal Academy, tough defeats, and unwavering faith, culminating in a triumph that a whole country can take pride in. Yet, making history brings immense pressure alongside the honor. Heavy expectations follow her onto the court, lenses follow her every step, and each contest carries an extraordinary amount of weight. Having a seed next to your name does not lift the stress. In truth, it marks the beginning of a whole new challenge. Still, the most amazing aspect of Eala's recent journey is not just her position on paper, but the sheer speed of her rise. In a matter of weeks, she became one of the most formidable competitors on grass. Her breakthrough happened in Birmingham. She swept through the tournament without dropping even one set, showing a level of self-assurance that intensified with every victory. When the final turned into a grueling 3-hour test of physical and mental endurance, she simply stayed elite. Facing a deficit that would cause most athletes to break down, she dug deep, mounted a fierce comeback, and secured the championship title. That triumph served as a bold statement that she had mastered playing on grass. However, her next performance caught fans off guard. Over at Queen's Club, her winning streak hit a major roadblock. A decisive loss to Iva Jovic left people asking tough questions. Was her Birmingham success just a fleeting moment of peak emotion? Had rival players figured out how to counter her style? Analysts immediately questioned if her momentum had suddenly stalled. Such a setback could easily ruin a player's confidence right before Wimbledon, but Eala did not allow one bad day to ruin her hard work. Instead, she bounced back with some of the most spectacular tennis of her life. Berlin became the place where she turned it all around. Hardly anyone predicted an unseeded competitor to do well against such a highly competitive field on grass. Yet Eala ignored all the predictions. She started beating top-tier players one after another. Her first major win was against Donna Vekic, who was enjoying a great run on grass herself. Soon after, Eala secured a monumental career victory by upsetting Elena Rybakina, confirming that her previous success was no fluke, but rather a sign of her true potential. Before the tennis world could even digest that shocking result, she followed it up by overcoming Alina Svitolina. Defeating 3 top-tier players in a row was unforgettable. All of a sudden, fans worldwide knew exactly who Alex Eala was, and they began wondering how deep into the tournament she could run. Even though Linda Noskova stopped her incredible streak in the semifinals, Eala had already made a massive statement. Eala established herself as an incredibly dangerous opponent ahead of Wimbledon. A quick loss in Bad Homburg did nothing to diminish her recent achievements. Her overall performance on grass proved to be much more meaningful than just basic statistics. She secured a trophy, took down several elite athletes, and raised her ranking enough to secure that historic seed at the All England Club. She possessed both incredible momentum and high self-belief. Yet, While Eala experienced this meteoric rise, Renata Zarazúa found herself in a completely different situation. Zarazúa's year has been a roller coaster of brief flashes of brilliance followed by annoying disappointments. Her match record shows this exact pattern, keeping her clear of total failure but preventing her from establishing any true consistency. Having once been among the top 55 players globally, she comes to London looking for a major spark to turn her season around. However, it would be a huge error to count her out, as her track record proves she thrives on beating the odds. She made history for Mexican tennis by entering the WTA Top 100, ending a long drought for female players from her nation. Her past upset over Madison Keys on a massive stage proved that she has the nerve to beat top-level competition when she is playing her best. Past successes stay with an athlete, reminding them of what they can do even when their ranking drops. This hidden resolve makes this specific match far trickier than it looks on paper. Even so, the grass surface has not been kind to her this summer. She showed great grit by fighting through the qualifying rounds, but her success stopped once she faced tougher opponents in the main tournaments. Losing 3 opening round matches in a row on this surface highlighted her struggles. Whenever she went up against elite competitors, she was forced onto the defensive before finding her rhythm. Grass courts reward powerful serves, quick attacks, and precision, which makes it hard for Zarazúa to utilize the patient, tactical approach she prefers. This dynamic is precisely what makes the upcoming match so compelling. These two players will not be trying to figure each other out from scratch under the stadium lights. They possess a level of mutual understanding that is incredibly rare for an opening round match. Well before they hit the opening ball, both athletes will rely on a deep mental archive of their past time together. As doubles partners, they trained intensely alongside one another, shared strategies, observed each other's tendencies, and noticed small details that fans at home never see. Zarazúa has stood close by while Eala practiced her serves, becoming familiar with her ball toss and the physical cues that reveal whether she is aiming wide or down the center line. She knows exactly how Eala transitions after returning a shot and how aggressively she moves toward the net when she spots an opening. Normal first-round opponents do not have access to these kinds of insights. They are the product of close cooperation, and that familiar knowledge can now be used as a tactical advantage. Furthermore, they share a distinct singles memory from 2024, when they faced off on a hard court in Cary, North Carolina. Eala looked poised to win after easily taking the first set. However, Zarazúa slowly adapted, finding better angles, extending the rallies, and forcing Eala into costly mistakes. Step by step, she solved the challenge until she completed her comeback. That win remains vivid in her thoughts. Forms change, tennis surfaces vary, and confidence fluctuates, but the feeling of overcoming a specific rival never truly goes away. Zarazúa steps onto the grass knowing she has already proven she can beat Eala. That mental edge could prove vital if the upcoming match gets tight. Even so, the opponent she faces now is not the same player from nearly 2 years ago. The Eala competing at Wimbledon is stronger, more mature, and looks perfectly suited for grass courts. Being a left-handed player allows her to hit unusual angles that right-handed opponents find difficult to read. On quicker grass courts, those angles become even tougher to handle. Her serve draws opponents wide, creating open spaces for her to exploit with her forehand. Her shots stay quite low after hitting the ground, forcing rivals to hit from uncomfortable positions. Her strong performances in Birmingham and Berlin were not based on lucky shots, but on steady, repeatable plays that kept elite opponents under constant pressure. She was dictating the pace rather than just trying to get by. Tennis analysts were highly impressed by how calm and composed she stayed against far more experienced players during her recent run. Rybakina, a premier power hitter on the tour, found herself constantly on the defensive. Svitolina, known for her excellent movement and consistency, could not find an answer to Eala's aggressive plays. These were not fluke victories where everything randomly landed in bounds. They showed a player whose skills have truly evolved on this specific surface. Zarazúa, meanwhile, brings a completely different style to the court. Being shorter than most modern players, she does not rely on massive serves or quick points. Instead, her greatest asset is her court intelligence. She plays with relentless determination, handles heavy shots well, and extends rallies until her opponents make errors out of sheer frustration. This approach works beautifully on clay courts, where longer rallies and a higher bounce give her time to set up her points. Grass, however, changes everything by keeping the ball low and requiring rapid reactions. Every split second counts on this surface, which explains why her best attributes have not yielded consistent success here. Nevertheless, tennis matches are not decided on paper. Grand Slams regularly deliver surprises because the immense pressure alters player dynamics. Favorites can tighten up, while underdogs might play with total freedom when they have nothing to lose. This mental battle could easily be as decisive as any tactical adjustment. For Eala, the match carries significant emotional weight, as she is playing to protect a historic milestone for her home country rather than just trying to advance. Filipino tennis fans understand the weight of this moment, having followed her path closely from her junior days to her professional career. They have shared in her victories and defeats, hoping to see a local player truly compete on the sport's biggest stages, and that dream is now just one match away from continuing. Such high expectations bring heavy pressure, making every service game and breakpoint feel much more intense. On the other hand, Zarazúa enters the court with far less scrutiny, as few expect her to win. This lack of pressure can be a massive advantage, allowing her to take risks, play aggressively, and let her opponent carry the emotional burden of the match. If she can secure an early advantage, she might cause the favorite to start doubting herself. History shows that opening rounds at Grand Slams regularly see top seeds fall when they rely purely on past momentum. Reputations mean very little once the match actually begins. Beyond this initial round, another major storyline is already developing, as the winner is lined up to face one of the biggest legends in tennis history. For fans around the globe, this potential second-round matchup is highly anticipated, offering the exact kind of high-profile story that media networks and spectators love to see. However, looking past the immediate challenge is exactly what causes so many early exits. Wimbledon has seen plenty of major upsets to remind everyone that future rounds do not matter until the current match is won. Eala is well aware of this reality. Throughout this grass season, she has consistently talked about using pressure as motivation instead of letting it scare her. As the stakes have risen, her tennis has only improved, showing incredible emotional maturity. In the past, bad results might have discouraged her, but now they seem to motivate her even more. Her grit showed in Birmingham, and her performance in Berlin proved she can compete with the best. Wimbledon is her chance to show that those runs were part of a lasting breakthrough. Zarazúa also deserves immense praise for her career path, having lifted Mexican tennis through sheer persistence and breaking down doors for future female players. She knows what it takes to pull off a massive upset and how fast momentum can shift in a match, meaning she will not be intimidated by a higher-ranked opponent. Yet, looking at all the factors, the advantages lean toward Alex Eala. The surface, recent form, and confidence level all favor her. Her powerful left-handed style should work exceptionally well against an opponent who has had trouble holding serve on grass lately. If Eala starts the match with strong serves, she can control the rhythm before Zarazúa can settle into her preferred baseline rallies. When Eala gets into her rhythm, she leaves her opponents with very little room to breathe. Still, it will be an emotional battle, and both players will likely experience flashes of recognition from their training days. Zarazúa might anticipate a specific serve direction, or Eala might recall a return strategy they once discussed as doubles partners. These tiny, unnoticed moments could decide critical points in a unique matchup rooted in past trust. When the match ends, one player will move forward while the other's run concludes. All signs suggest Alex Eala is entering this tournament at the peak of her capabilities, having built a dangerous identity on grass through smart, aggressive play. This development matters far more than her numerical ranking. Great players often have a moment where their self-belief solidifies, and recent weeks indicate Eala has reached that point. To keep her historic run alive, she just needs to respect the player across the net, remember their history as partners, and acknowledge her opponent's past victory over her. Once the first serve is hit, rankings and past friendships fade, leaving only one reality. The better player on that day will advance, and Alex Eala now has the perfect opportunity to